feel like sometimes they teach us as much as we teach them, it's growing, together and yeah.
How many sounds does sail have in it? Three. Let's sound it out. Sail. Hail. Sail. Does anybody know what would come at the end of sail? Like I can sail candy. Chrisley, what would come at the end of sail? Yes, because L's a what? A fizzle letter. Very
My name is Amy Johnson. This is my 10th year teaching. I've been in first grade for 9 years, and I did 1 year in kindergarten. I have a Bachelor of Science in Education, Early Childhood, pre-K through 4th grade, and I received it from Southern Arkansas University, Magnolia. So I decided to become a teacher from a very early age. I was like a lot of people who are teachers. I would play in my room with my stuffed animals and dolls, and I would play teacher and mama all the time. That's all I really ever played. I remember going with my grandmother to the library. After she retired, she would tutor students, or she would let me help her with the younger kids. And we would get lessons together, and I just fell in love with it. And I remember 1 year at Christmas, she had me a very special present. I had no idea what it was, and she and my brother came out with a giant blue chalkboard, and I taught so many lessons on it, and I'm just kind of sad that nobody ever got to hear those because they were so good.
I would tell her she's a really good first grade teacher, and her favorite thing is Snoopy and Peanut.
I love everything about teaching. I guess my number one favorite part would be working with students. I just love being around the kids, forming those relationships. But I think my very favorite part is just seeing them progress throughout the year. Sometimes it's with their behavior, like when they start off the year and we kind of hit some rough patches and we can talk, and I can talk with parents or, just anyone in the school who can help us, and we can work through those things. And also academically, we start off just doing simple addition and subtraction, and by the end of the year they're doing 2-digit addition and subtraction, and reading, we start off reading little CVC words, and then by the end of the year a lot of them can read chapter books, and it's just and that's my favorite part of first grade too. You really see growth in first grade, and it's amazing to see, so it's my favorite.
Ms. Johnson was nominated for Roadie's Remarkable Teacher of the Week for her exceptional classroom management. Her classroom runs like a family. She knows each and every one of her students, whether they are excelling or they need a little bit more help. She meets them where they are and pushes their limit to where they can learn at high levels.
She's helpful when we need her help with the stuff that we needed help and we don't understand. She helps us when we need help.
I love going to Miss Johnson's class and seeing her around campus with her students. A couple of things that come to mind right off the bat is her classroom management. She runs an excellent classroom. The students are very clear with what is expected of them. They know what to do, and it's very orderly all the time. And then in addition to that, it goes really deeper because she really makes her students think critically. And she gets the best ideas out of them, and you see the creativity coming out, and she doesn't limit her students. And she really gets to know her students personally, and you see that personality come out in the relationships with her and her students. That's one of the great reasons we're glad that she's here.
She's respectful, and she's smart. She says funny jokes.
I really honestly have had so many teachers that have inspired me, and that's probably a huge reason that I've always wanted to be a teacher. In high school, I had 2 that really impacted me. Miss Mason. I think that's why I feel like I'm structured in my room, is because I loved watching how organized and structured and just how everything flowed so nicely. And then another high school teacher I had, and Miss Kingery had mentioned it, that Miss Endel, and I got to kind of know her on another level because we got to go to Europe together my senior year. My mom had signed me up for it, and it was just, we went to Europe, and it was just the most amazing trip ever. So I got to kind of know her more personally. It was a 17-day trip. And then elementary, I think that was probably the biggest reason because obviously I'm an elementary teacher. My fourth grade teacher was Coach Voss, and he was so sweet. And I think my biggest takeaway from him was how much he boosted my confidence because I was shy and I didn't believe in myself. And I remember one time him telling me I was going to be the president of the United States one day. So I thought that was so sweet how much he believed in me, more than I believed in myself at that time, for sure. And then my biggest reason is my first grade teacher, because I am a first grade teacher, and I feel like that's a huge reason why. It was Miss Barron, and she made first grade so fun. I wasn't the biggest fan of kindergarten. I didn't want to leave my mom. I would cry every single day. But first grade, one time I remember getting sick, and when my mom wasn't looking, I tried to put my backpack on and run out the door, and she was like, "No, Amy, you're sick. You can't go." But I was like, "I've got to go. It's so fun." And she had a cool reading loft in the corner of her room. I just remember learning so much that year, learning so many new reading skills and just learning to read. I loved first grade. That's why I'm still in first grade forever.
She been kind to her students because she's really a good teacher and kind.
She's careful for other students that are in need.
I don't know if I could just pick one favorite moment or memory. I think it's just kind of a group of things. One thing I love that we do every year, because I'm such a huge Christmas person, I love that first grade gets to go to the tree farm, and it's so special because we get to pick out a tree and bring it back to the school, and that's what I did as a kid with my family, so it just kind of feels like we're a little family doing that, and I love that. Another thing I love about teaching, and I think it's just the family environment that you create throughout the year, and by the end of the year you're sad because you're kind of leaving and have to get a new family next year, and that's a little scary, but working together and creating that family environment. One story I think about a lot is one kid, he kind of had his rough days. We had to work together to figure things out, and he didn't have the greatest home life ever. So I remember one day him telling me, I feel like you're my home, and it really meant a lot to me.
Is a dog in it? No, is.
Look at that word again.
It is a wolf.
Look at that word again.
The wolf.
Go back and read this one more time.
No, it is the wolf.
Good job.
He is
Very good. Thank you, friend. I just hope all of my students leave my room knowing, most of all, how much I cared about them, and use some of the skills that I taught them, whether it be math, reading, even with behavior. I hope that they can take those strategies that we've learned and take them into second grade, or hopefully, even maybe small things into the rest of their life. I mean, I know it sounds silly, but I look back on my teachers, and I'm that kid that really listened to my teachers and really learned from them. I mean, not just reading and math, but just learned, ideas, and like I said, with confidence, gaining confidence was a huge thing, and I hope I've given that to some of my kids.